To understand how to factor a trinomial, we need to understand how they're made. So I'm actually going to start with the factors, make it, and then you can see how it works backwards. This is a distribution process. Basically, this would be x times x plus 2 and negative 3 times x plus 2 when we multiply this out. So we get x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6. Some teachers call this FOIL, which is first, inner, outer, and last. In other words, everything gets multiplied in the process. So this simplifies to x squared minus 1x minus 6. Here's our trinomial. So if we started with this, the question is, how do I work backwards to get the factors? And in Algebra 1, you learned that you would be looking for the two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1. So if you search for those two values, you will find negative 3 and 2 and negative 3 and 2. Those become the values that were back here at the beginning, the factors. So if we were doing the next one again, we could multiply this out. We would get x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8. This simplifies in the middle here to be plus 6x plus 8. Here's our trinomial. And if we were working backwards, we learn a little trick. We would be looking for two numbers that multiply to 8, but that would add to the middle term 6. Why do we look for them adding? Is because we noticed that's how it was made, as these were added together. And we noticed that this number was created by the multiplication. Our numbers would be 4 and 2, and that's how we would know our factors are x plus 4 and x plus 2. So let me clear this and we'll look at how to actually do it the normal way. Let's look at these two. Using our nice little technique, in this first one we would be looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 10 but would be adding to negative 3. With a little bit of thought, I always use the idea of the multiplication first because that's a little bit more restricted. We definitely see there's going to be a 5 and a 2 involved. Now the only thing we've got to figure out is to get negative 3, we need the 5 to be the negative. This works out perfectly, so our two numbers would be x minus 5 and x plus 2. This is the factors of this trinomial right here. And basically all we did is work it backwards. Over here, we would do the same thing. We would be looking for two things that multiply to negative 32, but would be adding to 4. Our numbers look like an 8 and a 4, and we just need to know who's positive and negative because this comes out to be positive. The 4 will have to be the negative. So our answer would be x plus 8 and x minus 4. And this is how we factor a trinomial where the lead coefficient is 1. And what we mean by that is that the value right here out in front is a 1 basically, and you'll see it's a little bit different when it's not a 1 there, but we don't have it written there, but that's certainly a 1 in that spot.